Yo, if chord changes are catching you off guard and like when stuff starts to change, you're just like, oh, where am I? I don't exactly know what to do. I'm kind of just skating. We're gonna help you fix that today. So we're gonna apply this to the concept of like some songs using like the 1, 4, 5, and 6 chords, which are like, if you weren't aware, like the most common chords in music. And so something that can really help you get into this is, first of all, if you're not already thinking about your chords as numbers, you're like on step -1. And so first of all, just knowing, instead of saying G, D, E minor, C, to say 1, 5, 6, and 4. And as you start to study more songs with these combinations of the 1, 4, 5, and 6 chords, you start to realize that like there's only so many combinations that can happen, and that in the same way that you can tell that this is pentatonic and this is scalar, you start to develop this sense of, okay, something is only using these like basic 1, 4, 5, and 6 chords, or maybe something's using something like jazzier chords. If I were to go like, that's more than just 1, 4, 1, 5, this cowboy open chord style. And so how does this relate to hearing chords before they happen? Well, let's say you're just listening to a song and it's kind of in your ear and you haven't been paying like too much attention, but you can kind of feel that it seems like it's using these normal expected group of 1, 4, 5, and 6 chords. So if I play any progression and you can start to figure out 3 of those chords, oftentimes very easy to figure out the 4th one. Let's say I had a progression like this. 4, 6. And if it ends on this, and the 3rd chord is this 5 chord, there's a very good chance that the next chord that's gonna happen is gonna be the chord that I haven't used that, which is my 1 chord. I'm just gonna play that one more time, right? 4, 6, 5, 1, right? And so just by like process of elimination, I could guess that it's like, okay, yeah, the next one's probably gonna be 1. And so what if it's not 1 though? That gives us some really great information too. Let's do the same thing, but let's go to a different chord. Let's go from 4 to 6 to 5, and instead of going to our expected 1, I go to, oh, it didn't go where I expected. I instead went to this like minor place. And so that's gonna be the 6th chord. Fortunately, if you're improvising, the 1 and the 6 chords share a lot of notes, so you'll be okay either way. But you can start to key into the fact that it's like, okay, that was a little unexpected. And then once you figure out what the progression is numerically, you just loop it. And why is this better than just like, okay, well, I get it. I know that the progression C, E minor, D, G, and I can tell that that's in the key of G. Like, why isn't it just enough for me to know that? Because that's not training your ear to hear the real story here. If I say that something, C to E minor, that doesn't tell you the full story. C to E minor does not tell you where it lies in the scale, right? But if I say 4 to 6, there's an implication there that with the 4 chord, okay, I'm starting away from home here, and that the chord scale is not a C major scale, but instead it's, derived from G. And that 6 chord is the same group of notes, and this 5 chord, and that, we're gonna come back here to this home. And so the short answer to this is, how do you start hearing the chords before they happen? Well, you have to build up a database, a bank of progressions that you know and progressions that you've analyzed numerically, so you can start to see these patterns like, hey, what tends to happen after the 5 chord? I'll give you a hint. Oftentimes it's gonna go to the 1 chord. And if it doesn't go to the 1 chord, what are some ways that my expectations are subverted? Like that second layer. It's like, let's say I go to, 4, 5, and you're expecting, right? How can we subvert that expectation, and what does it sound like? 4, 5. Oh, we're kind of like blue balling. We're going just between a 4 and 5. oh, so that means that they went to 6. And so your brain is constantly, after you've done analysis long enough, like making these predictions about where things can logically go. And the great thing is, like, guys, there's like 6 chords that get used in pop music. If you can get a mastery of like 4 of them, you have like 80% of the work done. And so if every single song that you play is not mapped out to numbers, how they fit within the tonal map, analyze songs in minor, based around 6, by the way, like, you're not going to be able to start seeing the patterns. You're not going to really be able to speak this language. And so you're going to be caught off guard for the rest of your life. And so really quick, just to give you an example of this, I'm going to play you a progression now, and I'm only going to use like those basic 1, 4, 5, and 6 chords. And I want to tell you I want you to tell me what you think the next chord's going to be. Okay, great. So let's say I go 1, 6, 4. What could the next chord possibly be? It's quite obvious. It's gonna be 5. It's gonna be 5, and we go back to 1. Like, that's like the expected place for it to go. I used up my 3 out of my 4 chords. Let's do another one. Okay, I'm gonna go 4, 1, 5. Where is it gonna go? What's the only one we didn't use yet? 6. Now, I'm not saying it has to go there, but when you start to train your brain to hear these patterns of like what's expected, when it becomes unexpected, you can make a better educated guess. And then eventually it's not even guessing, you just know what it is. It's like, you don't guess that this is red, you just know that it's red. That's really what it feels like to understand chords by ear once you actually get this. There's no guessing involved. You just know what it is because you know what it is. You know how it makes you feel. Yes, if you want to get more into this in a structured, methodical way, check the link in my bio. I got something special for you guys. It's totally free. It'll get you started on how to develop this way, this lens of seeing music numerically and relative to the tonal octave, so you can actually integrate this into your practice and what you're doing. Cool. If you have any other video requests or questions, leave them in the comments. Bye.